What up, YouTube? First time doing a vlog here. It is March 29th. We are at outside of Southside Gaming here in beautiful Florida, and huge ass shop, huge shop. I'm playing Blackwings today. We're hopefully gonna do some damage and take down some prizing. Southside Gaming sponsored a couple of players, including myself, to come out to the event, and really thankful for that. They have a great shop, and hope to do some damage today and show that I'm not some Edison fish. You know, Edison's not my best format, but we'll hopefully do some damage.
No, that's a lot of damage.
Maining one mind control today, maining Ryko, 2 Bora, and we're just gonna go like old school, my type of list, and see what we can do. I'll check in with you guys in between some rounds. Yeah, so this is the inside of the shop. Beautiful packed house, Southside Shaggy Powers. All the big names are here. All the big Edison names are here. James Ark, Sizzle, Marcus Hayden, all the boys. All right, we won round 1. There's like 5 minutes left on the clock. We were against a good player. He was on Synchro Cat. We had a chain in game 1 where I had my torrential set and he had bottomless, and I had 2 values in the grave. Those were the only 2 dark monsters I had. And I normal summoned Sirocco. He went bottomless. I chained torrential, and I dropped Dad. Brought out Armwing, and just kind of hoped that he had no answer. 2, he got me on a really good torrential from him where he had that Synchro X-Saber level 7 in defense, and I special summoned Sidra the turn prior. He let it go, and I ran it over, and then my set Black Whirlwind was like a bluff set, and the next turn I top Shura. So he gets me, I activate Shura and then activate Whirlwind, summon Shura, and I'm at like 800, and then he just torrentials, and I'm like, okay. And he top decks a monster and kills me. So then game 3, I opened pretty well. He had no answer to Whirlwind, and I just kept plussing, so that felt good. All right, like we said, we got round 1. Round 2 is about to start. Yeah, packed house. Packed house. Table 15. Let's see what we can do. So just finished round 2. I was fortunate to win that round. Hey, so game 1 I lost. I just couldn't really answer a return. It was a kind of a low resource game state. I was holding a Kalut in hand. The previous turn I went to summon Kalut and attack a Arma, holding a Kalut in my hand, and he's like, okay, that's fine, because he had a Gardna, and let it go to the graveyard. And then I pass. He summons Gale and attacks me for 13. I'm like, okay, this is kind of what I wanted, right? So I top deck Prison, and again, like, this is near the end game, so he's already been through a lot of like the mills and Vayu summons from the grave. And I set Prison, go to attack his Gale. He Gardenas, of course, and then on his turn he just activates Return, and Return was like super fueled because it'll make way over game. It'd be like Stardust, so I just scooped. Prison wouldn't have stopped it. Game 2, my Kaiku was pretty devastating. I had multiple battle traps in my hand to protect it, so Kaiku inflicted like 3,600 to him, and then it was just he was just too weak to continue in terms of like life. And then game 3, I opened Kaiku again with Torrential and some other cards and ET sets and passes. So I was thinking to myself, I can either summon the Shura with Kalut or try to be greedy here, but I think I just set Torrential. I've been liking Torrential a lot today. I mean, I think that Torrential is a card that is just underappreciated in this format. It's insane. It's very hard to play around. So I set it, and I passed. He passed, and I drew for turn. I drew Icarus, so that was cool. I passed again, and then on his turn, now he has like 7 cards in his hand. So he's now going to be left with the decision. Okay, do I play into a set heavy, which I got him with in game 1? It didn't mean anything. It was late game, and I just kind of had to set a card. So he was like, do I either play into set Storm again, or do I play into Torrential? He chose the Torrential route, so he summoned Greffer. I asked priority, he said no. I Torrentialed, and I got a Hamster and a Greffer, and then he just passed, leaving his set back row. I set then my I set Icarus on my turn, set Shura, reading that it was bottomless, and on his turn he just set a card and passed. On my turn, I flipped up my Shura, asked for a response. It was bottomless. I chained Icarus. I have Blizzard in my hand, so I know I'm going to get a +1 later. And then I just summoned a Kaiku and attacked, banished out the light in the dark from his graveyard, being the Raikou and the Greffer. So now he's at 62. I set Deep Prison pass. On his turn, he special summons Sidra, tries to run it over. I prison, and then he passes. And I was like, okay, like he's monster clogged. And then on my turn, I had game. So I summoned Blizzard, and then I brought Shura, special summoned my top deck Bora, and I attacked him for game. It was 6,300. So he was pretty good. It's just I think that in the game 3, I kind of left him with a decision point of, do I play into Heavy Storm being set, or do I play into Torrential here? And he chose to play into Torrential. I think that setting TT is a really strong play, opening play, going second into a T set, because a lot of people will just think it's Yada, because you're going to think it's Raikou. So I got him with it. Good play, and I'll keep you updated for round 3. Thank you. So round 3 is about to start. I'm on the feature match with a legend of the game. I've heard only good stories about him, Andreas Torres. We're on the stream at Southside Gaming. We're in the back room over here. Here's the setup, and gonna get set up. Well, I unfortunately did not win the round. I was against Andreas Torres, like I said. He was on Gladiator Beast. I don't know, something with me against that deck. My win rate is like probably, even historically on the ladder. I don't know. Mind you, a big difference between playing against a random GP guy and probably one of the best GP guys there are. But my win rate is probably low 50% against it with Blackwings. I'm just not fortunate against that deck. I'm sure I don't play optimally as well. There was a spot in that game where I could have brain controlled 1,500 Bestiari there, attacked, and then Icarus it, having to target one of my own cards and one of his, play around Rogue. But that would have been probably the best value I could have gotten from Brain, because it just became dead after that. I was at 1,600 life. So that was probably the best play I could have made. I do still think I lose just because of how low I was. Again, I was at 100. But I would have had more time. I also decided to attack with Brio into 3 back rows. I was just thinking to myself, okay, if it's Wabaku, if it's whatever, I have to eventually play through those cards. Unfortunately, it was Mirror Force. I had Bottomless to protect myself from a normal summon. I bounced this monster with Brio, so I was like, okay, even if it's a battle trap, I have a stopper. He had wave set, so here's what it is. And I'm gonna need him for tiebreakers, and he played really well. So no complaints. Hopefully win the next round. All right, mid-tournament update here. We just finished round 4. I won the round. It was a Blackwing mirror, and oh, look at this guy here. Look at this guy. This guy's a crusher. He's still 4-0, crushing everything. So anyways, I'm against a Blackwing player. We're both 2-1. He wins the die roll. Actually, I lost every die roll today, but we're going into game 1. He opens Whirlwind and Shura. He searches Bora. So immediate indication to me that he likely has at least a Kalut, likely Blizzard too, but I'm assuming he already knows I'm on Blackwing. I was on stream the previous round, so that information was basically public. And he sets a back row with it. So I have Heavy Storm, and I have no real answer to beating it. I didn't have a Sirocco, but I had a Mind Control, so I'm maining Mind Control today. And I also had Brain Control. So what I did was I used Storm. It was Icarus set, and I Mind Controlled, summoned Gale, and attacked for 13. Damage went through, and then I made an Armor Master. I set Dust Tornado, and I have Icarus and Brain in hand now. On his turn, he uses MST, targets my set card. I chain the Dust Tornado to set Icarus. And then on his turn, he normal summons Sirocco, special summons Gale, and then pumps, then halves, and then attacks my real Armor Master. So I put the Armor Master in attack mode, and I said, okay, put a wedge counter on your guy. He then is like, oh shit, it doesn't die. I'm like, no, it doesn't die. And then he, in main phase 2, special summons Bora and makes Black Rose. And so he takes out my Armor Master and my Icarus. And now I'm thinking, okay, like the card in his hand is probably not Blizzard. It's probably just the Kalut, like I suspected, because he didn't use, like, again, I'm reading the card in his hand's Kalut. On my turn, I top deck Sirocco. So I have nothing to do. I just pass. His turn, he summons the Kalut, attacks, and sets a back row. I summon my Sirocco, pump, attack, it's prison. So then I drew my own prison for that turn. So I set my prison. I'm very healthy right now. Then on his turn, he just attacks me again. I take the damage. And then on my turn, I draw another Sirocco. So I summon Sirocco, pump, attack. He books a moon, so now he has like literally no cards. He just has the Kalut in attack mode, and I have a set Sirocco and a set prison. On his turn, he goes to attack the Kalut. I prison now, so we're up cards. He just has the card he drew for turn. He sets a card, and then on my turn, like he sets a monster, so I'm reading its value. On my turn, I draw Bora. And I special summon Bora, pump it, attack, takes a lot of damage, and then on his turn he just scoops. So that was the result of game 1. And then game 2, he goes first, normal summons Thunder King, sets 3 back row. I have Whirlwind, Sirocco, Heavy, Solemn, Icarus, Bottomless. So I'm reading, obviously, he has Road, praying he doesn't have Road and some battle traps maybe. So I'm praying he doesn't have MST or Dust. So I just set Solemn and pass. He attacks me for 19. Obviously, I take it. My turn, I activate Heavy Storm. He uses Road. I Solemn. Everything goes to the grave. So I'm at 30-50 now because the 19 connected. I normal summon Sirocco, beat over it, and then I set Icarus and Dust. So he doesn't have many cards in his hands. On his turn, he uses Brain Control on my Sirocco, which is very dangerous because if he has Kalut, it's just game. Then he normal summons Thunder King. I bottomless it. He attacks me. I'm like, okay, I'll take the $2,000. I'm at 1,050. He doesn't have Kalut. He just hands me back my Sirocco. And then on my turn, I attack him for $2,000. He takes it. And sorry, on my turn, I finally activate the Whirlwind. Then I summon Kalut. Search out Gale, and then I pump the Kalut, attack him for 47. I think that's right. Doing math outside is difficult. So 30, 14, 20, yeah, 47. And then I sync up, make a Stardust in main phase 2, set my Icarus. So I have Icarus, Dust Tornado, and a face-up Whirlwind. On his turn, he draws, T-sets, and passes. He's at 2,400. I Icarus my Kalut, take out his 2 back rows, and attack with Stardust for game. So that was the result of round 4, and I'll get back to you in round 5. All right, so round 5 update. Didn't get it, so we're 3-2, unfortunately. I think there is a small chance that I can make it at X2. Someone ran the numbers, and it's like half of them make. The only problem I have is that I guess I lost kind of like earlier. You know, there'll be like the guys who are 5-0 and lose 2 straight. So it's just kind of, you know, and next thing you know, he's playing a 7-round tournament. That's what happens. So I'll stay in. Never know. I lost to 2 solid players, and I was against Machina that round. So into the gameplay, I actually win the die roll as well. So it was the first die roll I won today, but it didn't matter. I mean, game 1, I thought it was gaining a little bit of traction, but then I attacked into a Gores. I had no real counterplay to it. So, and I was already low from Machina hits and Fortress, and so I attack into a Gores. I bring out Gale, half it, and then I'm like, man, if I go Black Rose here, I'm just kind of playing not to die. I was at like $3,000. I was like, if he has Caius, he has Caius. He didn't Caius me the previous turn, so maybe he'll top deck it. And to his credit, he actually had Caius the previous turn. He was just holding it for a Gore's Tribute off play. So he got me really good there, and that was game. So, and then into game 2, I'm going first. No Whirlwind opener, but that's fine. He got me with a Starlight Road. My first play was set Icarus, pass. And then he set 2 back rows and set a monster. I summon Bora, go to attack it. And then I say attack declaration, he says okay, and then he flips over the card, and it was Hamster. And I'm just like, well, hold on, like I was just checking anything on declaration, and he said no. And I was like, well, I mean, this is like either going to be like the most brilliant play by my opponent, show me what it was, kind of IRL, and then I'm like, okay, I'll just road. So I couldn't answer the Hamster. Obviously, the Bora is not big enough. I Icarus, and he just brings out brings out Stardust Dragon. I'm like, oh man, we're in for it now. So then I just set like Dust Tornado or some card, and then on his turn he just like goes insane. He vomited 7,800 damage on his turn. He flipped a Hamster, set a Raikou, then he brought out Fortress and made Yugioh with Plague, so he got me for 78. He actually could have killed me if he stacked for Plague, but he said he didn't really want to overcommit into potential Gores. And I get it. I've been in those situations where it's like, okay, like even if I don't kill him, I'm at $8,000. I'll leave you at 200. What could you possibly do? And then on my turn, I had Blizzard in my hand, so if he didn't go for that crazy damage play, I might have been able to grind back, because my hand was Blizzard with a Boar in graveyard, obviously, 2 Kaloots and Solemn, and he had a set Raikou, and I'm at 200. So I actually had no play. My only hope was to bring out Yugioh and attack, take the Fortress. He pops it. I mean, I guess I could have went Brio and pitched my whole hand, attacked the Raikou. But then he has Plague in graveyard, right? So he just stacks for Plague, attacks for game. So I had no play. I was just dead. And we actually had to wait for a judge call, and I was just about to scoop it up. But I was like, let's see if he doesn't, play this turn correctly. Like, let's say if he just doesn't flip the Raikou. So the judge came, initially ruled wrong. We appealed it. And then on his turn, he flips up the Raikou, targeting the back row. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'm dead for sure. But I'll stall him because it's only 100 life, and it's like, he can't stack for Plague and use the Raikou. And then he just normal summons Gear Frame, and that's it. So I just said, okay, good game, man, and hope you win the rest. And he was a nice guy, played really well, and Starlight Road showing its force in game 2. But Chick-fil-A order's coming soon. I'm happy. We're in Florida. Can't be upset. And I'll check in with you guys in round 6. All right, coming to you with results from round 6. I was against a semi-pro softball player, or he plays really, really high up softball, which is cool because I just got into softball co-ed. So I was asking him some questions, and I'm not good at softball. I'm probably one of the worst on the team, but a lot of fun playing with my fiance. Anyways, we play, and he is game 1. The only cards that I've seen from my opponent was Gale, TDV, and that's it. He also set a monster, which I was assuming was like a Vayu, and that game was quite quick there. I didn't have Whirlwind or anything too busted. It's just he had no way to answer. My Blizzards. So Icarus did him in. Game 2, I was like, okay, I think he's probably on Vayu Turbo, and how wrong was I? But I sided Nobleman. 1 Nobleman, because I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't go 2. 1 Nobleman, kept the mind control, and I brought in 2 Kaikus because I was like, okay, worst case scenario, he is going to be on Blackwing or, some other variant that runs a Gale and potentially a Vayu, because I didn't get to see what the card was. When I went to attack the set, I was attacking with a real Armed Wing. Again, I made it through my Blizzards that I had a lot of access to. So I was like, okay, this is game if it's 0 defense, right? Because it gets pumped up. So he actually didn't even let me see the card. He just scooped, which was a smart play, because if I seen the card, I would have sided probably more optimally. So I put in Crows, Kaikus, Nobleman, and he just couldn't answer Kaiku. It turns out he was on a zombie variant, and he actually had me in a really bad spot. He had a Mizuki and a Gale, and he synced into Armor Master, and I couldn't answer an Armor Master for anything. I didn't have Icarus, didn't have a Battle Trap. Bro was just beating over my Blackwings. So I was like, I activated Whirlwind. I actually had 2 Whirlwinds, and I was like, okay, we're gonna probably have to Black Rose here. So I was like, okay, if it's Dust Tornado, it's Dust Tornado, but I don't want to use both my Whirlwinds here because we're gonna have to go Black Rose. So on my turn that he ran over one of my Blackwings, I had Shura and Bora in hand. So I activate one of my Whirlwinds. He has a set card. I summon it, and he Dust Tornadoes, and I'm like, oh my god. So I set one Bottomless. My hand was Bottomless, Whirlwind, and that Bora, and the other Whirlwind that just got Dust Tornado. So I set the Bottomless, kind of like a pseudo bluff, runs it over, passes turn. My turn, so I'm like, and he sets a new card. I'm like, holy shit, I literally have to, I think, Black Rose here, because I'm getting now low. I'm at like, you know, like under $5,000, maybe like mid 4s. So I activate Black Whirlwind, summon my Shura, and another Dust Tornado. So I'm just now kind of screwed. So I set my other Bottomless, trying to bluff, like, okay, if he has Heavy Storm anyways, he's going to win. So I was like, okay, we'll try to bluff. We have a Battle Trap now. He hasn't seen any of them, and he's like an attentive player, so he'll take a look at the grave. And I got what I wanted because he sacked the Armor Master for Caius, targeting the Shura. And I was like, thank God. So I used the oldest Bottomless that I set, Bottomlessed it. My turn, I draw a, my turn, I draw Crow. I think I had a Shura as well. I'm sorry, this story is now kind of lingering on, but I summon a Shura, attack. That's first damage for me. He's at 62. He takes the damage. So I still have a Bottomless, and my hand is Crow. His turn, he summons a Sirocco. I ask Prio, he says no. I Bottomless. Passes turn, I draw Kaiku. I'm like, thank God. I'm like, it doesn't have Gores, didn't have it last turn, so summon it, attack with Gores, banish the Mizuki, banish the Armor Master, attack with the Shura, pass. His turn, he summons Greffer, pitches, Vayu, sends Plague, and I got the Crow in my hand. So now he's at 3 darks, right? Because he's gonna have the Gale in there. I preemptively Crow the Plague, and Buddy just passes. No back row. I attack the monster with Shura, say effect, and he's like, okay, you win. And he just scooped up and signed the slip. I asked to see his hand after, and he had Book of Life and I don't know, some other card, but I remember the Book of Life. So I think he could have like bluff set it because none of his traps were gone. So I would have definitely still attacked with both, but I guess it doesn't change anything at all. This doesn't change anything at all. I would just attack with both. If he had Mirror Force, he had Mirror Force. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so that was the round. We're probably not in good shape top, if I were to be honest with you, because we lost in round 3 to Gladbeast, and now we're on to round 7. We lost again in round 5 to Machina, I believe. So yeah, I don't know if we can top, but we're gonna try. All right, we're back from round 7. I did the best that I possibly could. I won the round. I was against a nice guy, know him from Atlanta Goats. He recognized me from that scene. So he was on a anti-meta Diva hero beat with Woodsman. And in game 1, it basically came down to a situation where he made a Stardust Dragon. I'm like midlife. We're talking like 4Ks. And he had a back row. And I interacted with the back row before, so I tested it for like, you know, harsh traps, prison, Bottomless. So on my turn, he has a Stardust. He went like a 6 into an 8, and I normal summon Sirocco. He says, okay. I special summon my Bora, and I have 2 Kalutes in hand. I have no back row. And, you know, also that set card could have been like Storm or something too, which didn't matter. Like I didn't have any traps. So basically I was just kind of trusting my read, and I go to attack. So I attack with the Bora, no pump. Trying to play around Compulse or Book, and he says, all right, damage. I go, okay, use a Kalute, and then I attack for 17. He takes it. His turn, he activates Skyscraper, or the gold guy searches Skyscraper, normal summon, Alias, go to attack, and yeah, he gained He gained 1,000, and I used the other Kalut, beat over it. And on my turn, I drew Gale, so I special summon Gale, go to attack for game. He compulses out my Sirocco, so then I special summon Armor Master, and then he just starts chump setting things like chump blocking, like Ocean, whatever. Run it over. Eventually, it's just attack for game. Game 2, he beats me. I was playing around Starlight Road because I've been getting messed up by it earlier today, and nothing really I can do. Game 3, I had a Whirlwind opener, quite a strong open, and I got him, fortunately. He had a chance of getting me in some trouble, but I had a good spot with when his Woodsman stayed up. I needed a monster on the board, a normal summon Sirocco for my Whirlwind, searched out Gale, halved it, made Thought Ruler, gained life, and it was just all downhill. I ended up killing him with Reenact, with a Sirocco in my graveyard, pitching value, targeting my own Whirlwind, leaving his Skyscraper up so he couldn't drop Gores. So I don't think he had Gores anyways, but just play around things. And we have a shot here. I lost in round 3 and I lost in round 5. Torres, who beat me on stream there, he is also X2, so I think that's good for me. People who beat you generally want to do better than you or keep winning. And I don't know about my other guy who beat me in round 5. I'm gonna go change. I'm gonna go check. All right, we'll see. All right, first time doing vlogs and first time topping an event like this. We snuck in 13th place. And I'm ecstatic. I can't believe it. I thought I was cooked after losing in round 5. I was like so demoralized, but we just played it out, and I don't know, it just worked out in my favor. And we're 13th. We're about to get started shortly. I can't believe I made it, and God bless. All right, we won round 1 of the top cut. I was against Fayu Turbo. Feel kind of bad for the guy. I didn't have Whirlwind, but I had Dad both games, and I had access to it extremely early. Game 1, I basically almost OTK'd him. I brought him down to exactly 800 using a Kalut on a real armed wing, attacking a Raikou, and then attacking direct with Dad. So I was like, okay, it's either he's dead or he has Gores, and he had Gores. So I just popped, and then he had no answer because he couldn't use Brain. And I also had Solemn Set, so that was game 1. Game 2, kind of traded back and forth, and then I allured into Dad, and I already had 1 dark in the graveyard, so I I special summoned my Gale into his Armageddon and set card. He torrentialed, so now I have 2 cards in hand, being Dad and Bora, to his 2 cards. He draws for his turn, he draws Greffer, activate Greffer, pitch, and he brings out Armed Wing, and then set to back row. I'm like, well, that back row better be real, right? Because I special summoned Dad, popped the Armed Wing, pop everything. I left the Greffer up so I could leave it dark, and then his back row was Starlight Road, and then I summoned the Bora, attacked, so Dad over the Greffer, and then left my Sirocco in the graveyard, Bora and Kalut in hand, and he just set to back row passes. I popped it and normal summoned Kalut and killed him. So yeah, I feel bad for the opponent kind of, but that's Edison format, right? On to the next round. I'm either going to be against Eric Chen or the Gigavice player. Apologies, I don't know his name, but I'm watching that match. Hey, all right, so in the top 8 round, I was paired against Eric Sizzle Shen. We had a great game. I think I played very well in that one. He had my full attention. I think I made some good moves in both game 1 and game 2. I'm going to review that one in detail. That was a great game. I won it. And then I played a Blackwing Mirror versus Cody Moreland. And I had like the sickest soul read in game 2 that his set was Morphing Jar. However, I still lost game 2. But I did beat him in game 3. I opened Whirlwind and Bora. So we were able to get him there. I'm in the finals versus a gentleman I played in Rally in the top 4. He's on Machina with Compulsory and other things. So we're gonna play it out here. I just wanted to quickly talk to you guys, and we're gonna go from there. What's going on, guys? Coming to you from Canada, obviously not in Florida anymore, a little bit later, but I just wanted to recap what happened in the finals at the Southside gaming event. So I was paired against Yi Chang Lee, amazing player. He was a Machina player. I played him about 2.5 months ago, maybe a little longer now, in Raleigh, North Carolina, for a big boy gaming event. They had good prizing there too. I was on Blackwings, he was on Machina, and we were paired in the semifinals. I beat him in that, and then I lost to Dragon Turbo Hydro Pump in the finals. Really good player, and he made like no mistakes. I kind of just opened the nuts. So before the match, he proposed that we made some sort of deal because there was a big monetary difference in terms of value between first and second. I generally don't care. I'm fine to make deals. So especially when I know my opponent's a good player. So we made a deal. We said, okay, we're gonna make 2 lots based upon the prizing. Lot 1 will be 3 Alti Caius gold stamp, which are misprinted, plus a Alti Dad and this Dad mat. So I think it was a 2009 Dark Armed mat. They go for like $600. And then lot 2 will be a Alti JD and that Black Rose UDS mat. Winner chooses whatever lot they want, and we'll play it out. I said, yeah, let's do that. He agreed to the deal, and we played. So let's revisit the game. So game 1, I actually was quite ahead. Early in the match, I generated quite a bit of advantage, and I was holding a Dark Arm Dragon for a bit, and then he T-set. So I was like, okay, like I have 5 back row down, one of them Solemn, an Oppression, high quality stuff to his T-set. So I'm gonna bring out this Dad. I bring out the Dad, Prio banish the set, and then he bottomlesses. So I'm left with the decision right then and there. Do I Solemn this and then punt? And I think he's like full health. If he's not full health, he's like taking a hit off of maybe like a chip damage of some sort, nothing substantial. So I decided not to Solemn it, and the reason being is I was reading he had Brain Control and actually specifically Crow in his hand, and he had 5 cards in his hand at this point. So while he might not have Darks in his graveyard now, he'll just Crow, and I know he mained 3 Crow for that event too. So wasn't too hard to read Crow, but the Brain read was what I was kind of worried about. So if I Solemn that, I'm going to have no answer to a pitch, self-banish, attack, move without negging myself. So I decided not to Solemn that, just take the plus, banish the Raikou, and I think that was okay. Then the game started going on further, and I was in a situation where I probably should have Solemned a Card Trooper that came down because it beat over my Blizzard for free. And the reason why my Blizzard was on the board is that I think I chain blocked with a Whirlwind with an Oppression up. So I was doing quite well at this time. I had no answer to the Trooper until next turn, beating over it with like a Vayu that I searched from the Whirlwind via chain block. So long story short, I was presented 3 opportunities to Solemn, of which I chose none of them. He ended up just dust tornadoing the Solemn. Props to you, Mr. Lee, figuring out where the Solemn was. He kind of broke it down because every other trap was used when I set my whole hand. So it was like, okay, the Solemn is just at this spot. And then he ended up dust tornadoing it for free. So I think I played way too slow game 1. Game 2, I got him in a pretty good spot where he was at 2,900. So I normal summoned Raikou, attacked with Raikou for 200. He took it, and then I attacked with Blizzard and dropped Kalut, and it was game. And he did have Gores in his hand. So he in a podcast, he said he just kind of like lost track of life, which makes sense to me because he's smart enough as a player to know, like, okay, like I'm never normal summoning Raikou to kill unless I had a like absolute lethal shot. So he probably should have just dropped Gores into 200 and then went from there. Game 3, unplayable for me completely. There was a point where I had to make like a chump blocking Catastor, knowing that it was going to die to a gear frame, normal summoning gear frame equipped to the Fortress run over. So he just ended up like going side rear to contact and attack for game. Unwinnable game 3. Game 1 is where I should have got him. And props to you, man. Like he got me good, and I just said good game and continue it on. You know, hell of a player. I'd love to play him again. Nothing but respect for that guy. And he chose the lot of the Alti Caiuses. Maybe in his perspective, he thought it'd just be easier to sell, or maybe he wanted to play with those cards. But I think like the actual value is probably a little bit higher on the UDS Black Rose mat. But yeah, that's what he chose. So I was like, okay, good game. And I took my prize and I was happy with it. So some were saying like I got the better financial end, but again, he chose what he wanted to pick. And, you know, selling this Black Rose mat has not been easy, and not an easy feat at all. So maybe he made the better decision. But shout out to Southside Gaming, shout out to Florida. It was awesome. And shout out to my beautiful fiance for supporting me in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Couldn't do it without her. Always good to have a supportive partner in what you're doing. right, so we're with Marcus Sizzle. He's filming, I'm filming with our new friend Ed. Look at this crazy card shop they have in Florida. Some like land spot also has like tea. So Ed's giving us a little tour, showing us another shop. Update of the tournament yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not win. I lost to Lee in the finals, but we made a deal and I left with the Black Rose mat. So all in all, very successful trip, and we'll make a video, I'm sure, on the dual review or something. But yeah, just wanted to check in. It's Sunday in Florida. This just like reminds me of childhood. Look at we got a setup, GameCube and OG stuff, 64 and a Wii. Everyone had one of these type of TVs. It's cool to see this type of stuff in 2025. At the steakhouse with Sizzle, Marcus.
One off.
Ed, the GOAT, new Florida friend, inside this nice casino. It's a good weekend. All right, so we're at the last day here on our Florida trip. Flight's out at 8 p.m. It's about noon right now, and I don't really like hanging out at the airports. So yeah, went to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino here, just walking in. Gonna drop off my bags and see if we can play some poker. So I guess like trip update, went gambling, and I went on a sun run here too. So this trip has just been insane. Very lucky. I was down like maybe $500, and I had some change in my pocket. I think I had like 100 left in chips. So I went to the big fortune wheel, spun it, and it didn't hit like the major number, but my 100 turned into like 170 from like my spread of bets. So I rebet the 100 roughly, maybe it was like 110 or something, and I took a picture of it, so I'll have that in the thumbnail. Then I took that money, went to Baccarat, and that went well too. So cashing out, crazy trip. Gambling is bad, don't do it, but we did it anyways.